This lens must be best in class of every brand, including Leica. Today I'm excited to announce a new brand that I've not yet tested before. This brand is called Mandler, and their name is based on the famous Leica lens designer, if you know anything about Leica. So this is a 35 f2 Summicron replica inspired by the famous Leica Summicron 35 f2 version 4 King of Bokeh. I love this lens so much out the box that I actually bought two. This lens must be best in class of every brand, including Leica, when it comes to what's in the box, and yeah, we'll get into that. So coming up, everything you need to know about this lens, the good, the bad and the ugly. Some things are amazing, some things are not quite as good, and we'll do detailed side-by-side testing against the original King of Bokeh lens. Welcome, Matt here. As a YouTuber and model photographer, this channel specialises in Leica, both Leica branded things such as these cameras and this lens, and also lenses made for the Leica system, such as all of these lenses made by different brands. Today, I'm afraid I'm a bit croaky, so this video is sponsored by the throat lozenges, but I'll do my best, so yeah, apologies in advance. Okay, so before we dive into this lens, let me first recap Leica Summicron lenses, because there are quite a few different versions. First, version 123. So if you search Mr. Leica and Summicron on YouTube, you'll find various videos that I've made in the past, including one big video that contains all the different types of Leica Summicron lenses. This is the version 1. The main thing to note is it's optically amazing, 8 elements, but it has a focus lock at infinity. That's the main kind of takeaway. Version 2 and version 3 are optically almost identical or identical from memory, but the version 3's got a filter thread, the version 2 doesn't have a filter thread. And the other thing to note, the aperture stick on the version 2 is a bit different. Version 3 is like standard. So what about version 4? So version 4 is similar to the version 3, but it's smaller. And it was originally made in Canada and called the Tiger Paw version, with that kind of focus stick. And then later it was made in Wetzlar, Germany, and now it's got the standard focus tab that we're used to. Worth noting, some of the early Canadian ones have got like a plasticky feel. They're not all made the same. As long as they're made of metal, they're okay. If they're made of plastic, they feel awful, like out of a Christmas cracker. Here you see the difference in size compared to the V2. And it's worth noting these lenses came with a plastic hood, but you can get a metal hood from Square Hood. I can put a link below, and that fits the version 3, the version 4 and the Mandler lens we're looking at today. Okay, first impressions. As someone that's bought lenses from all the various manufacturers, the first thing is this must be best in class when it comes to first impressions. The box is similar to when you buy like an M camera, with that kind of paper outside box and then your standard inner box. It comes with a handwritten letter on some kind of stamped embossed paper that you just saw, and a warranty card which is also stamped, as you can see here. I had to hide my details, but yeah, you get the idea. You get a metal round vented hood which takes the Series 7 filters if you happen to use those, and the lens comes in the classic Leica bubble design in like a hard metal plastic case. It is literally an exact copy of what Leica used to do with their old lenses in the past. Also in the box you get a extra rear cap, because one cap's attached to the back of the bubble, and also a clip-on plastic lens hood, square hood, similar to the classic clip-on plastic lens hoods from Leica. The bubble itself felt more robust than the original Leica bubbles. I've got both, and if you take a close look at the lens, first of all, the silver one has got a beautiful finish to it, really nice. And then if you take the lens cap off, that's got the branding on, you've also got a included UV filter, 39mm UV filter. So if you take that off, you then get to see the actual lens itself and the coatings. So nice quality filter, but the coatings are even more beautiful. They've got the purple gold finish, which is designed to be exactly the same as the Leica lens that it's copying. And the aperture, it feels a bit sloppy, but it turns out they just tried to copy the Leica one, and the Leica one was also a bit sloppy. So the focus is smooth like the Leica lens, aperture is a bit loose like the Leica King of Bokeh. So if you take a close look on the back, this is obviously a rangefinder coupled manual focus only lens designed for Leica M-mount, so it will work on any Leica M-mount camera or adapted to your mirrorless camera of choice. I was so impressed with the silver lens, just even out the box, without even testing it. I was alright, I need to get this one in black as well. So here you can see the silver lens we just looked at. Here's the silver box, here's the silver things, and then here is the black one. So this is black paint, and this is the lens you're going to see me use for most of this video. I use the black lens on my black Leica SL, and there's the box if you're wondering if I bought it or not. For full disclosure, Mandler did offer me a good price on the first one, and I said I'd make a video in return. And then when I bought a second one, I did have to pay slightly more, but I was interested to see the black paint one on black cameras to go with my silver one on silver cameras. Now that's all great, but you're like, Matt, how does it compare to the original King of Bokeh? So I flew to the Netherlands, met up with my Patreon friend Thomas, who owns the King of Bokeh, and we did a side-by-side comparison. First, here's both lenses side-by-side. They're pretty much identical in every way. They feel the same, they look the same. Yeah, it is an exact replica. I think the way it works is the patents run out on the old Leica lenses, and so then other brands can make them. The only difference is the Leica lens is 6-bit coded, as you can see, where third-party lenses are never really 6-bit coded. It doesn't matter which brand you buy from. Here you can see that the classic purple and gold coating, and you can see the Leica original hood fits straight onto the Mandler lens. They're that similar, so I just shared one hood across both lenses, and it was great in the rain when we had a bit of rain in the Netherlands. Okay, images. So first, Bokeh. The Bokeh at first glance is pretty similar. There's a bit of swirl, and if you look as you stop down the Bokeh gets a bit more jagged. You'll see that when we zoom in a second. So first glance, Bokeh is pretty much the same as you can see here. If you zoom in at 2.8, it really is identical. Okay, now when you look at the edges, this is where it's slightly different. The King of Bokeh is said to have that fish scale bokeh where you get a defined edge on one side, where the Mandler lens bokeh is more elliptical, slightly smoother, maybe less noisy, less distracting. Okay, lens coma. So this is where you get the smudging of the points of light in the corners, and it's actually really bad on a Leica lens on the King of Bokeh, where it's corrected on the Mandler lens, interestingly. So the Mandler beats the King of Bokeh if you don't like coma at the edges. As I say, it's just like the smearing of light towards the edge of the frame. Classic Leica glow. If you look around the street lamp, the Leica's got more glow than the Mandler. The Mandler's got maybe crisper details in the center around those points of light. Now what about vignetting? Both lenses are pretty similar with vignetting, both pretty heavy at f2, both pretty much gone. We'll just stop down to maybe 5.6. Center sharpness. So center sharpness, so I did various tests. At first glance they look similar, but when you zoom in, the Mandler is actually better than the King of Bokeh for center sharpness. And I did this in various conditions, into light, with the light, and yeah, if we did this in black and white, you can see better contrast, better sharpness, and more clarity in the center from the Mandler than the King of Bokeh when both lenses are wide open at f2. Now edge sharpness, now this is a different story. So at first glance again they look reasonably similar, but if we do a corner crop, you'll see that the corners of the Mandler lens are quite soft and maybe a bit smeared, especially at infinity, as you can see here. Stopping down helps a little bit, but I think because of field curvature, you never really get full sharp edges on the Mandler compared to the Leica lens. Okay, what about colours? As you can probably tell from all the photos so far and from these sample images here, all in RAW, the colours are pretty much identical from both the Mandler lens and the original King of Bokeh. Now if you're a regular viewer, you'll know I'm a black and white photographer, so let's do some black and white real world photos. So for this we visited Delfshaven, I think I said that correctly. It's like a go-to place in the Netherlands to look at vintage cameras and lenses, and obviously you can buy them. So we headed to the store, thanks Thomas for showing me around, and these are just example photos of a few very sexy and potentially quite rare cameras that we saw in the store. A really nice rendering from this lens, and I got closer by using the Light Lens Lab close focus adapter. While I was there, the guys said hello and were chatting for several hours, it turned out to be, and they were showing me their various black paint Leica M2, M3, M4 cameras, and so we tried the black paint, the Mandler lens on the black paint Leica M4, as you can see here. Beautiful combination if you like black paint cameras and lenses. Now, as a project guide, let's now show some like real world stuff. I was in the Netherlands partly to test the lens, but partly to do like model photography and try and get some portfolio work. So let me show you what I normally do, and this is obviously portraiture. If you want to get into portraiture, you can get my ebook. I can put a link below, and also follow on Patreon for all the behind the scenes where I explain the lighting and how it works when it comes to model photography and how you can do the same with your camera. All the photos I'm showing are shot with the Mandler lens at f2 on the Leica SL camera. I'm showing RAW plus edited with my usual Mr. Leica black and white presets. Again, link below to presets if you want the preset look that I developed for my own photos. The models seem to be happy with the photos from this lens. And then using the Light Lens Lab close focus adapter, I could even do like close-up headshots, which gave me an even more kind of a dramatic shallow depth of field where the fall off is greater, obviously the closer you get. So this lens is particularly good on L-mount cameras, whether it's a Lumix or a Leica, because you can just get that bit closer. You can see the lens flare on these photos just a little bit. It's quite nice. It'd be nice to shoot this lens on a sunny day with lots of leafy trees to see the full kind of bokeh effect that you can get from these sorts of lenses with the swilly style bokeh. You can see the Bokeh a little bit in the background of these photos. The weather wasn't great in the Netherlands, similar to the UK, so we were trying to shelter the models as much as possible from the rain and things, and yet still try to use the location. So yeah, these photos again all at f2 on the Leica SL. I was even using the original Leica SL just to prove to myself that it's pretty much the same as the Leica SL2S. I'll do a video about that in the future. Eventually the rain became too much, we had to go and find shelter somewhere inside. I would say if you're using the Mandler lens, King of Bokeh, or any vintage lens, you're not really going to get the full potential from these lenses shooting inside against a white wall. I try to shoot across the room as much as possible to create more depth, and like the King of Bokeh, you can get some nice separation from the Mandler lens, but I think again it would be better shooting outside on a sunny day with trees in the background for maximum bokeh. So what is the verdict? So these lenses are pretty much identical from the outside and the feeling and everything else. The main difference, the Mandler lenses are lighter, both the aluminium one and the kind of brass version which is made of copper. Price wise, a used Leica lens around 2k if you look on eBay, whereas the Mandler lens new on eBay, or nearly new on eBay, about £480. The guys gave me a discount code for their Shopee account, so I'll link that below if you're living in the China area. Vintage look, they're both pretty similar, but the Leica's got more glow and it gets sharper once you stop down. The Mandler doesn't. So with that, what is my final thoughts? I think the Mandler lens is perfect as a character lens if you want to soften up your digital camera, make it look a bit more filmy, a bit more painterly looking. I know that word's overused. The lens is designed to work on high megapixel sensors, like 60 megapixel sensors, and in the centre it's been shown to be as sharp as the Leica spherical 35 f2 lens. So if you can cope with centre sharpness only, this lens is perfect for portraits, but you will have obviously greater fall off. If you want sharp, I'd go for a version 1 Leica Summicron 8 element or the Light Lens Lab copy. From my testing, the version 1 Summicron is better than the version 4 King of Bokeh in the corners, and for the price you could buy a Light Lens Lab replica of the V1 for your corner sharpness, and then get the Mandler lens to shoot wide open f2 for a lightweight everyday carry, just to make the world a softer and more painterly beautiful looking place. If you enjoyed this video, you may enjoy these other 35mm videos. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and thanks as always to my amazing Patreons.